Welcome to After Effects plugin creation with ChatGPT. I'm Vlad and I'll guide you through building your own custom Adobe After Effects plugins, even if you've never written a line of code before. In this course, you'll create a real After Effects plugin, install it as a panel and launch it using ChatGPT. We start simple: why plugins matter, how to save time and money, and how AI makes it possible for non-coders. Then we build a textures plugin. Step by step, you'll install it on Mac or Windows, turn scripts into dockable panels, and keep your tool one click away in your workspace. See how creators use custom plugins, then create your own plugin. I recommend watching videos in order because every lesson builds onto the previous one. You can control the volume and the playback speed of every video to learn at your own pace. If you get stuck or have any questions, be sure to drop them below. Just make sure to check the existing questions first, because there's a good chance that the question you want to ask has already been answered in detail. At some point, you'll be asked to leave a review. Please wait until you've had a chance to really experience the material. Your honest feedback helps me improve the course and better serve you and future students. By the end, you'll have a working plugin inside After Effects, plus the skills to create the new ones anytime you need them. You'll be able to follow along easily, build confidence, and walk away with the tools you can reuse, share, or integrate into your projects or client work. Let's jump into the first lesson. In this video, I'd like to discuss a list of these topics, and if you don't want to listen to these topics, you can skip to the next video where I'll just show you how to create the plugins, but let's discuss this. First of all, the current plugin landscape. There are websites like Video Copilot, AE Scripts, and I use both of these platforms because those are really great. Some of their plugins are free, some of their plugins are paid. I use both. So for example, there will be an FX console where you can search different effects quickly in After Effects. That will be Text Evo where you can animate the text easily. That will be like Deep Glow, which is definitely better than what After Effects has, although I don't use the Deep Glow. These already exist, but if you want to create something custom, like something super niche, that sometimes doesn't exist. That's the first issue. Second issue, it's pretty expensive. Text Evo is like $30, Deep Glow I believe is even like $100. And something you can do now is create these plugins yourself. Now I should mention that if we break down by the definition what the plugin is, then plugin is something that's written differently from the script. You can pause this video and take a look, which will explain it a lot better than I will. But to 95% of the people, plugins and scripts are basically will be the same thing. Now, it's especially very good with the latest update of ChatGPT 5. If you watch this in the future and there's ChatGPT 6, 7, 8, whatever, it's going to be even better. But with latest ChatGPT update, it became unbelievably good at coding. And basically, when we write the script, we need to code. So even if you have no coding experience, this is perfect, because I don't have any coding experience and I'm able to create these custom plugins. Now, the whole reason to create these plugins so that you can do something custom, or you can do something a lot faster, a lot more creative, you can earn more money with that. So that's great. And even if you use a free version of ChatGPT, you can still do it. And even more interesting is that if you create something super great, then you can go ahead and sell that. So it's like benefits and benefits just all around. Now, I will say that it's not super easy to create that, and you'll see that in the example that I'll give you, but it's a very interesting opportunity that's just about to explode, and we'll see what people do with that in the future. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know, but other than that, let's jump into the next video and create our custom After Effects plugin with ChatGPT. See you there. In this video, let's create our custom After Effects plugins with ChatGPT. We want to use these 4 textures. So we want to create a plugin that's going to be kind of like a pop-up, a UI pop-up that will be able to just click on the button. It's going to apply these textures. Now, I will say that sometimes I struggle to give ChatGPT the right instructions. You can actually ask ChatGPT to create the instructions for the ChatGPT. By the way, I'm using the paid version of ChatGPT, and I think with the free version you have a little bit of like a limitation on the number of requests you can give to ChatGPT, so that it uses kind of its latest and the best model. So if you get that message pop up, just wait a couple of hours or potentially like a day, and then come back to that, and then you'll be able to do it. Although you can still do it with the previous version. So even if you run out of this kind of the very best model, you run out of the credits for that, or the time, or the number of requests, whatever that's called, just open a new dialog and then you'll be able to do it the whole thing. So in order to get the best results, I'm going to ask this ChatGPT to create instructions for the ChatGPT so that it can write the script. Hey ChatGPT, I need you to write instructions for the ChatGPT so that this ChatGPT will write custom After Effects script. Specifically, we needed to generate a script that will have a pop-up like a UI panel that we'll be able to dock later, so that we have 4 different buttons that will generate different textures, and The textures that we need are going to be with fractal noise texture, grain texture, cell pattern texture, and roughen edges texture. You can see that I've written it in the very beginning of this message. So go ahead and create the instructions so that ChatGPT can generate the script for us. Then just press on send. By the way, another hack, instead of just writing everything by hand, you can give instructions by voice and then it will turn it into text. I found that works a lot faster than me typing. Like, it would take me a lot longer to type this in than to speak it out. Now, I don't always get the best results with the first prompt. Sometimes I have to go back and forth a little bit with ChatGPT, but not a problem at all. Okay, you can see pretty detailed, really good results. Now, if you want your ChatGPT to be this brutally honest and truthful, you can leave a question in the Q&A section, discussion section below, and I'll give you the instructions on how to do it. Super easy, but ChatGPT is always like very agreeable with you, and so if you don't want to be that, then you can make it a little bit more like straightforward. Okay, great. Let's copy everything. So I'll come to the very top and I'll copy this part. The reason why I'm copying just the top part is because I'm not able to copy here, so I'm just going to copy the top part, then I'm going to copy this and paste this in, then I'm going to copy this part as well, and I'm just going to paste it back into this ChatGPT. Copy, and now let's copy this part at the very end, and let's run the script. It's going to take some time, definitely. It's not super fast, especially with long instructions. A couple of comments about ChatGPTs is it's always great to create custom ChatGPTs because custom ChatGPTs are a lot better than general ChatGPTs. But custom ChatGPTs, first of all, you have to have the paid version. Secondly, it does take a little bit of time to set exactly what you want. First of all, to identify exactly what you want. Like, that's the hardest part. Usually, it's pretty easy to give instructions once you know exactly what you need and what's going to work. But if you don't know, you have to go back and forth with ChatGPT, asking it to create this super great custom ChatGPT. And it started doing it. I mean, even if you were a coder, that's still quite a bit of code to write. So even if you're a coder, you can still use this method. Super great. Okay, so first of all, it gave me a code without the downloadable file. And we should ask it, give me a file to download, JSX file. The JSX is the file format that we need. Perfect. And now let's just click on the file, save it to downloads, and it's saved. Now I'm going to open After Effects and I'm going to select our layer, select whatever layer we want, and we need to write a script. So if we go into File, Scripts, Run Script, you can actually put a shortcut for yourself. In my case, it's Option R, but I can also just click here. Or instead of just going to the menu, I can click on the shortcut. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to run this thing. And as you can see, it created our texture maker. So if we click on one of those, interesting. So it actually creates, I'm not even sure what this is, but if we go into the effects control of whatever layer it's created, then it does have the necessary effects. So let's, grain does have the grain, cell pattern, and add roughen edges. Perfect. It did exactly what we told it to do, aside from it now creates this new layer, which is great. We can just give it instructions to customize it a little bit further. Hey ChatGPT, great job. So we have our UI pop-up with 4 buttons. We have our effects applied. However, when I click on the button, it creates a new layer that has the effect on it. However, I don't need to create the new layer. I needed to apply the effect to the selected layer that I have selected After Effects. Can you do it? Actually, we shouldn't ask it to do. We should just tell it to do stuff. Make necessary changes. We can close the script and we can delete this part. At the same time, I'm also going to delete the script, move it to the trash. Another tip I will give you is that when you go back and forth with ChatGPT, let's say you create from scratch, and sometimes you have to do it like 10 times or 20 times. Sometimes it gives the downloadable file name. So this link here, it gives it the same name, and you can ask it to generate a new name every single time. So for example, in this case it would be texture maker 1, texture maker 2, and so with each new file it would give you like the next number, so 3, 4, 5, the list goes on. And it's also a little bit easier for you because you can always take a look at your downloads and then just select the file that has the biggest number, which is going to be the latest number. I will say as well that I tried to replicate some of the already created scripts and it was doable, but it's kind of difficult to do something that's difficult, I would say. It's not necessarily like difficult, it's just it takes a lot of time because sometimes ChatGPT tries to jump 10 stairs and then every single step fails, and you have to take it like every single small piece at a time. So for example, I tried to create the text animation like the similar to text evo animation and something that was doable, but I had to work on every single step. So first of all, like apply certain effect or apply certain like animation, then create a keyframe, then make that keyframe smooth, then apply specific ease in, ease out in After Effects, and it's a long way. I did like dozens and dozens of variations of the script, and I had to go back and forth with ChatGPT like for a couple of days. It was brutal. Eventually I just gave up. I was doing the progress, it's just it took a lot of time to do the progress. Link doesn't work. I'm not able. Oh, actually it does work. Interesting. It's not highlighted in blue. Okay, so let's run the script, select it, and let's select our text and let's give it a try. Add roughen edges. Interesting. Roughen edges. Why does it add the fast box blur? This one, grain. So this one's good. This one, okay. What about this one? Why are we not able to see it? Let's try to apply this effect ourselves and let's see the difference. Cell pattern.
Bubbles invert 100, the same 600 to 1. This one is 60. Let's give this one 60 as well. Okay. And then this needs to be at 0 and 0. Disable evolution. Let's open the settings.
So now the fun stuff begins, where we just have to go back and forth with ChatGPT and try to identify the issue. So this one is 1, 0 cycle. Okay. Okay, great job, ChatGPT. We definitely made progress. Let me give you some feedback so we can improve it. First of all, the text, the layer that I apply the texture maker on has the opacity of 35% all of a sudden. The roughen edges effect also adds the fast box blur effect to it, which is not sure why. We should get rid of that. Next, the add cell pattern. For some reason, it just becomes black, and I have no idea why. So I need you to customize the settings so that in the effect control panel to customize the settings so that this doesn't happen. Then when we go and apply the grain texture, the opacity goes to 46%, and I'll send you a screenshot. You can see there's like the box that appears behind the text, which just doesn't help at all. And then when I apply the fractal noise, the opacity goes to 61% for some reason. So let's go ahead and change that so that the opacity is at 100%. It even blinks a little bit. So it's like it has the expression. What if we get rid of the expression? And the opacity has the expression posterized time 12 value random -3, which we shouldn't have it. I'm saying that we shouldn't have it, but this is something that you can do. You can also customize and create custom expressions like this. ChatGPT is actually pretty good at creating custom expressions. I mean, you have to go back and forth with it, but it can create interesting stuff. If you didn't know After Effects, like you can basically write code in After Effects in all the expressions, and that's why you can run scripts in After Effects. But I have no idea how to write code or anything similar to that. So I can just ask ChatGPT so that it can create it for me. Okay, so we have something new. Let's take a look. And actually, let's just delete the whole text layer so that it comes like it's the original. So I'm going to write the text, put it in the middle. Let's run the script and apply. Roughen edges, perfect. Okay, so the cell pattern texture, dark, fractal noise. I actually really like the roughen edges texture, which is pretty good. However, it has some interesting effects to it as well. So this is great. Then cell pattern texture. There's still something about it that just doesn't work. What if we set reset here? Okay, so it works. If we put this one to 0, so let's open every single part about it and then press on reset. Hey ChatGPT, so roughen edges are great. Fractal noise is great. Now let's work on the cell pattern texture and add grain texture. The cell pattern, if the effect is applied, it turns black. However, if I press on reset in the effect control panel, then everything works perfect. Now specifically where I'm seeing the changes are the evolution changes. It goes from 52 to 0 when I press on reset, so it's supposed to be 0. Then I'm seeing that the size has to be, instead of 12, it has to be 60. Although I don't think the size has any effect on this, but who knows. And then also, instead of the contextual slider, it goes into contrast. I think this should be somewhat customized so that basically, let's put it to the almost like factory settings from the very beginning. And if we want to customize further, we'll be able to do it. So that's about the cell pattern. Then let's talk about the add grain texture. I'll send you a screenshot so that you can take a look at what's going on. So I'm just going to send the screenshot as well so that you can see what's going on. Then we can also ask it to, let's say, add a button to delete these effects. And in the next video, I'm also going to show you how to make this constantly appear in your UI of After Effects. So it's going to be like a panel that we can dock somewhere, and then you'll be able to just have it there all the time. Great, we made changes. Let's download it, and let's open After Effects. Let's close this, delete the grain, then run the script. So cell pattern, perfect. Grain texture, to be honest, I'm not sure about the grain. Okay, great. Actually, to make our life easier, let's get rid of the add grain effect, and let's also add a button to our UI so that we'll have 3 effects, and then we'll have a new button which is going to be kind of delete those effects. Go ahead and do that. We are nearing the end of this. Download, delete, run the script, select number 4, open. Perfect. Okay. Great. What if we add 2 and then press and delete? What if we add something like, I don't know, like glow, for example? Let's make it a little bit bigger and then delete. Interesting. Oh, let's select, delete. Very well done, So now it only deletes these effects and doesn't delete the effect, for example, like the glow effect, doesn't delete it. It only deletes these 3 when they're applied, and perfect. So that's how you do it. This was kind of straightforward, but sometimes you might have a little bit of a challenge to do this. Try to stay calm, because I know sometimes you might lose your head with this. Try to stay calm, and if things don't work, try to just break it down to very small steps, that from a little bit to a little bit, and then after 10 steps, you get to where you wanted to go. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, let's go to the next video and create a dockable panel. Hello. In this video, I want to show you one script that I created with ChatGPT that saves me just an unbelievable amount of time right now. Specifically, it's with dynamic link between Premiere and After Effects. I think it's going to be just easier to show you. I'm not going to show you how I created that, because you already saw that in previous videos. It's just like one of the future video updates where I'll show you something for inspiration for you to see. Maybe you can really improve your workflow through this as well. So the way it works with dynamic link, you select something, right click, replace with After Effects composition. And I have to just go through this every single time. Okay, let's go to desktop and save the project here. Because when I was creating videos, I'd literally have to go into, where is this? Templates, come here. And so this is the template I have for After Effects. And every single time I'd have to open it up and then drag it here and then open it. And basically this is kind of the final thing that I was going for. Now, it was unbelievably annoying to every single time having to go into the folder and then dropping that into the project. So a solution I found, as you can see here, I have this pop-up here called import template, and I have the set and the import. Basically, I asked ChatGPT, hey, how can I solve this? And then I kind of came up with this idea. So with one button, I set which template I need to use, basically. The second button is I have to click on import, and it's going to import that template every single time. So let's say I delete this and delete, okay. So once again, we have our sequence here, we have our graphic, right? We don't have this big small frame anyway, we don't have this template here, right? And when I click on import, my arm is here and I'm clicking the mouse. Yeah, there you go, it was imported. So I didn't press Command Z, just wanted to show you that. So it's going to import this every single time
If you ever work with templates, oh my god, it's going to save so much time, and then you don't have to have only one template, you can have many templates, just one of the ways that can be done. You know, just doing it once is not such a big of a problem, but then doing it like 20 times per video. Let me show you like a very quick example. Okay, so this is kind of where I was going with this, and I would, in order to create this effect, I'd have to use the template every single time. Just want to share that quickly. By the way, please let me know and upload it as a project what kind of templates you use, because it's such an inspiration to see what you guys do, and for me to be able to improve my workflow, and hopefully this helps you as well. So anyway, let me know in the project or in the Q&A section, and if you have any questions, let me know. And that, see you in the next video. In this video, let's create a dockable panel. Basically, in order to create a dockable panel, we might have to customize our JSX file or our script, and then we have to put it in a specific location. If you're on Mac, Applications, After Effects, then Scripts, Script, UI panels, and on Windows, Program Files, Adobe, Adobe After Effects, Support Files, Script, UI panels. Now, it might be in a slightly different location. The final folder that you have to find is the Script UI panels. On my computer, the location is slightly different, so I have to go into Applications, then After Effects, then search for Scripts, and here we get the Script UI panels. And then I have to just literally drag and drop our file over there, like so. And I have to put a password so that it works. Just find Script UI panels. And now we do have to restart After Effects so that it can properly work. Create a new composition, and now we need to go into Window, and here at the bottom we will have it. Texture Maker, Selected Layers. Perfect. Now you can see it already comes as this interesting panel. Now all we have to do is like put in a specific location, like if we want to put it on the right, for example, and now we'll just always have it here. Even if I quit After Effects, I'm not going to save it. Open After Effects, and there you go. Now it's just always going to be here. Now if you want to change the name of it, we just have to go back over here and change it. Let's call it Texture Maker, and just put a space over here like so. Because I'm making changes, I have to put in the password. Let's quit it, open After Effects again. Now I have to run the script again. Texture Maker, it's going to appear, put it there on the right, and would be good to go. So that's how you can do it. Now, I also faced an issue with After Effects sometime in the past where it would create a UI panel, but then when I added it into the folder, then went into Window, ran the script, the UI panel appeared, but the buttons did not appear. And so I had to just literally go back to ChatGPT and ask it, hey ChatGPT, explain the whole situation, then just asked it to double check the script. It double checked the script, I went ahead and do it, and it worked perfectly. And you can actually go ahead and write this script over here, which you'll be able to find in the downloadable resources section to make sure that it properly creates your UI panel. And then let's say you want to get rid of that, just close the panel over here, and if you want it to disappear from the window, if you want to disappear from here, just go ahead and get it out of the script panels folder, and you'd be good to go. So if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. In this video, I'd like to break down what's possible with After Effects scripting. Specifically, I'll be using scripts by jargon. So big shout out to him, he created this, I'm not taking anything from him, and you can actually go ahead and download it from his website. All you have to do is you just have to search for jargon, and then you have to go and search for this video, which is ChatGPT is my favorite After Effects plugin. So go ahead and click on this video, and then go ahead and click on download my scripts, scriptlets, and presets, and then you'll be able to go ahead and download it. Then when you download, you'll get this file, and I do recommend you reading the terms of use, which is going to be the two files here. There's a lot of stuff here. If you want to run scripts with the shortcut, you have to press Option Command apostrophe on Mac or Alt Control apostrophe on Windows. And here you have to search for Run Script, and then you can put a shortcut for yourself. In my case, it's Control R. So I'm going to press on Control R to run script. Let's open jargon, and let's run a make a line script. So let's make a line, and it's going to make a line. Super fast, super easy. Basically, instead of you having to go here and then making a line, let's say like so, than having to go into, the stroke, putting a solid color, making it more, then putting it exactly in the middle. Like, instead of doing all of that, you can quickly run a script, and that will be super fast. And then when you dock it, for example, like here at the top, super easy and super fast. So now that we have 3 texts, I'm going to press on Ctrl R to run it, and then reverse layer order. Click on reverse layer order. Okay, let's select all 3 of them and reverse layer order. Once again, a very interesting way to do this. This very last one doesn't work. I cannot say that these scripts are super useful for me, but if you want to learn this, go ahead and explore it. I think it's interesting. It's quite early. We can already create some very advanced scripts with this, but we're just getting started, and then it will just come to people who can really utilize this and have enough patience to sit through this and create incredible scripts. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, see you in the next video. In this video, let's talk how to create and launch your own plugin. First of all, make a crystal clear decision what you want. The more crystal clear it is, the better the results are going to be, because there's not going to be ambiguity. You'll know exactly what you'll create, and you'll tell ChatGPT exactly what you want, then ChatGPT will be able to help you with that. If it's a little bit ambiguous, ChatGPT might make decisions on your end. You don't necessarily want to do that. So make a crystal clear decision what you want. Next, create instructions. You can either directly tell it to ChatGPT, or you can ask ChatGPT to create instructions for ChatGPT. Either create it yourself or ask ChatGPT to help you with that. If it gives you code, make sure to ask it for the JSX file, then go ahead, open After Effects, run the script, and see if it worked. If it didn't work, go back to ChatGPT and tell it to solve the problem. A quick tip: send it screenshots. If you're going to run it as a script every single time, make sure to create a shortcut so that it's a little bit faster. Go back to After Effects and go back and forth with ChatGPT until it's going to work. Once it works, and if you want to install it as a dockable panel, go ahead to the folder where After Effects is installed, search for the path, and put your plugin in there. Once that's done, just go into Window, open it up, and make sure to put it so it just stays on the screen. If you have any questions, let me know. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Congratulations to you. You're nearly 100% done with the After Effects plugin creation with ChatGPT course. There are just 2 small steps you need to take. First, take action. As Kafusha said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if you haven't already, take your first step by creating your first plugin. All the best information in the world means nothing if you don't act on it, and even small steps lead to massive outcomes. Lastly, if you found value in this program, I would really appreciate if you could take 60 seconds to leave your honest feedback. I will be immensely grateful to you, and your feedback will massively help future students in deciding the best program for them. Although this course is complete, your journey has just begun. I'm excited to see your plugins online, so be sure to keep me and your fellow students posted. Remember, I'm here for your success, so if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out in the Q&A section below. Thank you again for choosing me as your instructor, wishing you all the best and looking forward to seeing you in future courses.